Hey, how's it going? So I just got back from New York a couple of hours ago, actually. Like, I just got to the apartment a couple of hours ago and I've showered and it's been like the longest day ever. I was starting to edit this vlog and I realized that a lot of this vlog that I tried to do in New York is just a lot of like clips of all the places we went to, so there's not really like a cohesive like flow to it. So I thought I would try something a little bit different than what I typically do with vlogs, and I thought I would kind of like tell you about my experiences and what happened and kind of like throw in the vlog footage where it applies. I don't know how to explain this, but we're just gonna go with it because like I feel like that's like the only way for me to edit this vlog, really. On Sunday night, on November 3rd, we actually drove down to Seattle. My dad was able to take my sister, myself, and my mom down to this hotel in Seattle, which was really nice because our flight was going to be the next morning at like 7 in the morning or something, and we were going to have to be at the airport at like 5. So we wanted to be down in Seattle the night before. Oh, we're in Seattle! Look at this cute ass freaking suite we're staying in. Oh my gosh, there's a freaking kitchen like in our hotel room right now. That's dope. And we have this cute little desk over here. This big ass couch.
Turns into a bed.
Turns into a bed. And then a cute little king size bed, TV, and there's a view of a lake out here. Like, holy crap, this is luxury. This is luxurious. And it goes all the way back in here, like closet, bathroom, and this, which is also awesome. So cool. It was actually really fun because we got to go out to the mall and we got to go to this restaurant, BJ's, which is this restaurant that we really love, but they don't have it anywhere near where we live, so it's like a treat to get to go there, and that was really fun. We're in Seattle and it's about 9 o'clock at night right now, and we have to go to bed, which sucks because we have to wake up at like 4 in the morning to catch the flight tomorrow to New York. But it was a pretty good night. We watched a lot of the new Queer Eye episodes that are like in Japan, so that was pretty cool. But it's gonna be a long night because I am not even tired right now. And it's only about 7 hours until we have to wake up, so wish me luck. So it's like 4 a.m. and it's like the earliest 4 a.m. ever, but we are ready to go. Trying to stay excited because it's really early and I'm so freaking tired, but I'm excited. Me and Rachel had to sleep on this awful bed that has absolutely no cushion whatsoever. Yeah, we slept on this because we weren't gonna make my mom sleep on it, so we gave her the king.
Right,
yeah. So yeah, we are off to New York. Well, we're off to the airport. We'll be in New York like super late today. That morning was rough. Like, I am not a morning person at all. We got the shittiest sleep ever, basically. We're in the airport. Very tired. You look really like good at this hour though.
Thank you.
Like, how?
I appreciate it.
How do you not look dead right now?
Because I did my makeup.
It's only like 6. It's like 6:30 in the morning.
6:40.
Oh god. It's still so early. And then our flight left around like 7 in the morning, I want to say, and it was the longest day because we didn't land in New York until closer to 4 o'clock in the afternoon because we gained 3 hours when we went from Washington all the way to New York. So it kind of felt like it was still like 1 o'clock in the afternoon for us, but it was actually 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh my gosh, dude, we almost got snatched at the airport because this guy was standing in front of the taxi stand area in the airport, and he was like, he looked at me when I walked up to him and he was like, "You guys need a taxi?" And I was like, yeah. And he's like, "How many?" And I was like, 3. And then he was like, "All right, follow me." And it was like kind of like strange. Like, I looked at my sister and we were kind of like, I don't know. And we started like follow him, and then this other guy walked up and he's like, "Hey, do you guys need a taxi?" Like, whatever. And we were like, yeah. And he was like wearing like a more official outfit, and so we were like, yeah. And then he was like, "Okay, come with me." And he was like, "Don't follow that guy," like whatever. And the guy, like, I like literally looked back and he disappeared, like he was gone, and it was so weird. I don't know, like, I don't know if they were just trying to like, you know, rip off the taxi company, like if it was somebody working for a different car company or something, but it was kind of scary. Like we could have gotten abducted. Then we arrived in Manhattan around like 5:30 that night, I want to say, and it was so beautiful. Like driving through the streets of Manhattan is just incredible. Like, I mean, the taxi drivers and like all the drivers in New York are freaking insane. Like, people driving in New York are the most impatient drivers I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, you literally like risk your life when you go walking into the street in New York. But it was really incredible. And then we got to our hotel room. We stayed at the Moxie in Times Square. Oh my gosh, this hotel room is the cutest thing.
This is this is amazing.
Cute. And look at the bathroom. Cute. I love this like tile in here. And it's huge. Holy crap, this is so cool.
This is that don't disturb.
Wow.
That's your do not disturb.
This hotel smells so good. Oh my god.
Right?
One of the coolest hotels I've ever seen. Like the entrance was all like neon, and the smell of the hotel, it smelled like you were walking into like Abercrombie or something. Like it smelled amazing. And it was just really cool. Like the hotel room itself kind of felt like a college dorm room or something, just because of the layout of it. And the bathroom like didn't really have a ton of privacy, which was like, it was whatever, but it had kind of like a see-through door, so when you close the door the toilet would be right there, and so it was kind of like see-through to like the main room. And then the shower didn't have like a door either, so the shower was just like a part of the bathroom, like there was no door. It was interesting for sure, but that first night was really fun. But we were so freaking tired because like we didn't really sleep the night before, and I could not fall asleep on the plane ride there. So we ended up just going out to this restaurant called Dallas Barbecue, which we went to last time we stayed in New York, and I remember really loving it there, and it was really good, and we had a really fun time. And that first night of just like walking through Times Square was just like freaking magical, and it just made me realize like how much I just love the city so much and how much I've missed it. I will say though, like Times Square is a little bit crazy. Like it definitely feels like a tourist area, you know, and it doesn't really feel like it kind of feels like the Las Vegas Strip but on crack, and like it's cold as hell, you know. It feels like that where everyone's kind of like in your face, you know, like trying to sell you stuff in Times Square. So like I didn't love Times Square as much as I did, I feel like, the first time we went. But the first night we hit the bed pretty hard. Like we were really tired. We went to bed pretty early. What's up? Last night was rough. Yeah, like yesterday was like one of the longest days ever, because like when we stayed the night in Seattle, we only slept for probably like 2 hours at the most, because like the bed was so uncomfortable, and
You could feel the box springs.
yeah, you could feel the box springs. Like it was just awful. And then we had to wake up at 4 in the morning to go to the airport, and yesterday was just like a really long traveling day, so I was just kind of like really exhausted yesterday. And it was so weird because like yesterday, like we did get to go out to like Dallas Barbecue, and then we went out to Cold Stone afterwards, and we like kind of like walked around like the south part of Times Square a little bit, but like we didn't really get to do a whole lot last night because we were like freaking exhausted. Then it was so weird too because like last night I passed out at like 9 o'clock at night, which is weird because like on the West Coast time it was like 6 o'clock, and then I fell asleep for like an hour and a half, and I felt like I had slept for like the whole night, so I was like awake when I woke up at like 10:30. It was a weird night. And then this morning I didn't wake up until like 11, but it's weird because it's actually like 8 my time, so it still felt early. Like I don't know, the time zone like fucked me up. It fucked me up more than I thought it would, but it's okay because now today we're doing Dumbo in Brooklyn and the Brooklyn Bridge and all the things. Look at her outfit. Look at it, isn't this so cute?
Oh.
And her glasses.
And the earrings, don't forget.
Those are the ones Mom got ya.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're leather feathers. They rock. Wow.
Styling, girl.
It's
I'm
so
just
nice.
wearing my sweater.
It's cute.
Cause I'm basic. Mom's outfit.
I'm ready.
We're ready.
Bring it.
Yeah. The second day was probably my favorite day on the whole trip, like not gonna lie. Like we did so much on the second day. And so we took an Uber from our hotel to this restaurant called Grimaldi's Pizza in Brooklyn. And oh my gosh, dude, that was the best freaking pizza I think I've ever had. Like that was so good. And we got like their Caesar salad there too, and their Caesar was so good. And the restaurant was so cute because it had this like exposed brick and like all that in the restaurant, and it was just really, really cute. And then we went down and we saw like the famous street that's in Brooklyn that everybody goes and takes pictures of. It's like the most like Instagrammable street or whatever because it has like the Manhattan Bridge just like right there, and that was really cool and like that was really beautiful. And then we went down to like Pebble Beach area, which is like the beach that's literally like right in between the Manhattan Bridge and the Brooklyn Bridge. And oh my gosh, like I feel like that spot was like maybe my favorite thing of the whole trip. Like I could just like I couldn't even explain to you how amazing it felt to be looking up at these bridges. And it was during the daytime too. Like I can't even imagine if we went back at night like how beautiful it would be. But like it's just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Like it was so stunning, like I just couldn't even deal with it, honestly. Moody. We're trying to get her to take a Moody. Look at this photo.
She's just vibing in the water. Look at her.
Oh yeah, she's
Vibing in
going.
the water. Oh my god, I gotta do super short videos on Instagram.
We just got to like walk around and like explore Dumbo a bit. Like they had this really cool shopping center type of thing that was around there that we were like walking through and stuff. So beautiful. And then when we were leaving Dumbo, we walked across the Brooklyn Bridge, which was like the coolest, like probably the coolest thing for me on this trip, just because it was so scenic and so beautiful. Just seeing New York from the Brooklyn Bridge, like when you're actually on the Brooklyn Bridge, is like freaking magical. And the views of like the Statue of Liberty and then like looking back and seeing Brooklyn and you can see Manhattan, it's just, oh my god, it was absolutely gorgeous. It was also pretty windy that day, but it was nice. It was just a really, really beautiful day. And then after that, we started walking back through Manhattan. Like this day was the day that we walked the most because we walked all around Dumbo and then we walked across the Brooklyn Bridge and then we walked all the way to Washington Square Park from the Brooklyn Bridge, which was pretty far. It was about like a 30 to 35 minute walk, and my feet were freaking killing me, and my boots that I was wearing were like tearing up my right ankle. Like it was hurting so bad, but I just like pushed through it because I was like, whatever, like I'll just deal with it later. So then we went to Washington Square Park, and I didn't realize that NYU, like the campus of NYU, is literally across the street from Washington Square Park. Like that is so freaking cool. And Washington Square Park is just so iconic to me, at least, because like I've recognized it from so many movies. Like I know they filmed so many movies right there, and it was just so cool. And then right after we checked out that park, we went to this place that's called Dough, and it's this cute little place that you can just get cookie dough scooped out like it's freaking ice cream and put in a cup, and you can just eat it. And I was obsessed with this place. I actually got recommended to check out this place from my coworker Josh. Like he was like, you gotta go to the cookie dough place, and I had no idea what that was, but like it was so cute in there. It was so cute, and I love cookie dough, so it was like my thing, you know. And I ended up getting the one that was like M&M's and oatmeal cookie dough. Like oh my god, it was freaking amazing. Like 10 out of 10, so good. After that, we walked to Strand Bookstore because it was right down the street from there, and oh my gosh, dude, I was in freaking heaven. I was kind of overwhelmed, to be honest. Like there was so much to look at and so much to do, and I ended up getting a lot of like touristy things from Strand because I could not resist. And the book that I ended up picking at Strand is Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter, and this one is actually the Strand signed edition. It's really freaking cool because they have a note from the author that's like personalized for the reader. Like, how cool is that? It just says Dear Reader, and then it's like the author wrote this whole note in here and signed it. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I've never seen something like that before in my life. And ever since I read Pretty Girls last month, I've just been really wanting to check out more of Karen Slaughter. And I know that this one is getting adapted into a Netflix series, so I thought, why not? And they had this amazing signed edition. Like, I just had to do it. So, and then while I was there, I also got this really cute beanie that says Strand Books on it, and I wore this like everywhere for the rest of the trip. I also got this really cute mug that says Bibliophile on this side, and then on this side it just says Strand, and it's like my favorite color of like navy blue, and like I love this color of this font right here. Like, and then I also got a bunch of these like little pins. Like this one says the same like bibliophile thing that was on the cup, and then this one just says Strand Bookstore. And then I also got a little Beyonce because it's Beyonce. That's what you do. They were handing out free bookmarks, so I took a couple of their like free bookmarks, and I got a bunch of these like little stickers that I just could not resist. They were only like $2 for these cute little stickers, like Strand Books and like New York City stickers, and like a well-read woman is a dangerous creature. And I was just like, I need all of these stickers because I need them. Strand Books was pretty incredible. Like, it was an amazing experience, honestly, to see. And then on this night, we ended up going to Hard Rock Cafe for dinner. We were gonna go to this place called Carmine's, and it was this Italian restaurant, but the wait time was over an hour, and they were like, you need reservations, and we were like, shoot. So we ended up going to Hard Rock Cafe instead, because they don't have any Hard Rock Cafes where we're from here, so we just thought it'd be fun to go, and it was really, really good. And then after that, we ended up just walking back through Times Square, and we did some shopping at like Forever 21 because I was trying to find like a heavier jacket because I didn't really bring any heavy jackets, and that was really fun. Tuesday was just a loaded day. Like, we did the most walking that day, and my ankle got all fucked up that day, but it was like the most fun day. Like, Dumbo is my new obsession. Like, I'm obsessed with it. Like, it was so cute, and I really wish we had had more time to spend in Brooklyn, because I think I love Brooklyn even more than I love Manhattan maybe. Like, it was just such a different vibe, and I just loved it so much. Hello! Yeah, yesterday was fun. We did Dumbo in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And that was probably my favorite thing so far. And the Brooklyn Bridge, it was beautiful. And yeah, so now today we're gonna go out to breakfast, and we're gonna go to Central Park. And then later tonight we're going to a New York Rangers hockey game at 8 o'clock at Madison Square Garden. It's gonna be so lit. So that's the plan for today.
Probably gonna be my favorite day.
Probably. In the morning, we went to this really cute diner called Andrew's Coffee Shop, and we ended up getting some breakfast there, and it was the cutest little place, and the breakfast was so freaking good, and the staff was super friendly there. Like, I was really impressed. And after that, we ended up spending the whole morning in Central Park. So that was really fun. We just got to go kind of like walk around and just like chill and lounge in the grass for a bit, and I took some book photos, even though I didn't actually end up reading anything. I was just kind of like hanging out, you know. Way back from Central Park, we went to Starbucks, and it was so much fun. Like, the sun was setting kind of as we were walking back to the hotel, and drinking Starbucks while like walking through the city. Like, it was just freaking amazing. That night too, we also like walked back on 6th Avenue back to the hotel, and 6th Avenue is freaking beautiful. We passed by Simon and Schuster, and I like died a little bit inside because I was like, like, Simon and Schuster is like life goals, dude. Like, oh my god. I think 6th Avenue is my favorite street in Manhattan because 6th Avenue has like Rockefeller Center, Radio City, Simon and Schuster, and it's just like the most beautiful like street in the whole city, in my opinion. Like, I was just in awe the entire time we were on 6th Avenue. Yeah, she got let that blueberries go. This cafe is super cute. Then on Wednesday night, we ended up going to a New York Rangers hockey game, which was so much fun, but unfortunately they didn't allow me to take my camera inside, but I did record some very low quality footage on my phone, so I have something of it, but it was a super fun game. They were playing Detroit and they ended up winning 5-1. Like, they scored so many times and it was so much fun. Thursday was another incredibly fun day because we started off the morning, we went to this bagel shop that was just called like Best Bagel and Coffee or something. Oh my god, the bagel breakfast sandwich thing was the best bagel breakfast sandwich thing ever. Like, it was so freaking good. Like, the eggs and the like the dough of the bread on the bagel was like freaking amazing. After we finished eating on Thursday, we went and got to check out Bryant Park because they have their like Christmas seasonal display up now, which includes a bunch of like cute little shops and the ice skating rink. My mom started to like shop around Bryant Park area, and then me and Rachel went to go check out the New York Public Library because it's right in Bryant Park. And oh my gosh, dude, the New York Public Library is like a book lover's dream because you literally walk in there and the ceilings are so high and the library is like so quiet in there, but it's freaking beautiful. Like, there are endless amounts of books and it's just like the dream library, you know? Like, it's just beautiful in there. We got some Jamba Juice. Yeah. And we're sitting right on the ice. I decided to go ice skating in Bryant Park because my sister didn't want to go with me, and then I was debating whether or not I should go, and I was like, fuck it, like, I'm only in New York once, like, let's go. And so I ended up ice skating by myself in Bryant Park for like probably like 30 minutes. Like, it was super fun. And like, I just love ice skating so much. Like, it just makes me so freaking happy, and I honestly just felt so alive, like, looking at the city and ice skating. Like, it was just like a dream come true, you know, because like I've always wanted to go ice skating at Rockefeller Center, but it was actually super cheap to do it at Bryant Park because it's free admission and then you just pay for skate rentals. So that was really cool. After we were at Bryant Park, we walked over and got to check out Macy's, and Macy's is like the biggest store in the country or something crazy like that because it's like 8 stories tall. I think it might just be the biggest store in New York City. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but it was freaking huge and massive, and it was really fun because we were trying on like all these different blazers that they had and all these really cute coats, and even though like there was no way in hell we were gonna be able to afford any of that because they were each like $100 or something crazy, but it was still like really fun and it made me feel so like preppy. And then for dinner that night, we ended up actually just going to a TGI Fridays that was really close. And see, I feel like that's the thing that kind of sucks about when you're staying in like Manhattan and Times Square. The food in Times Square is kind of a lot of more like touristy food. It's not really like the local New York food, you know, because I feel like in order to get the authentic like New York pizza, you have to go to Brooklyn for that, right? Or like, you know, to get more of like the authentic New York food, it's not going to be like in Times Square, you know? So like, it kind of sucks because I feel like a lot of our restaurant options were only like, you know, places like TGI Fridays or like the Hard Rock Cafe because we were in Times Square, and like we were so tired from the whole day of walking that we didn't really want to like go super far out of our way by the time it was time for dinner. Like, we were just really hungry and wanted somewhere to go. TGI Fridays was really good, like, don't get me wrong, but I just wished that we had gone to more like local places, you know? That night it was like expected to rain pretty hard, so we wanted to do something that would be more like indoors. So Rachel and I actually ended up going and seeing this movie called Parasite because it's a movie that we've both been really wanting to see. It's like this new indie movie that's like a thriller, like drama movie, and they're actually only playing it in New York and Los Angeles in the United States right now. So like there was no way that we were going to be able to watch it in Washington, so we just decided to go to a screening of it in New York because like, why not? And oh my gosh, the movie was so freaking good. Like, it might be my favorite movie of the year. Like, it was a solid 10 out of 10. Like, freaking incredible story writing. Like, the movie's so metaphorical, and I just really love movies and stories about like people manipulating rich people. like, I don't know why, it's like one of my favorite things to watch and to read about, and I just loved it so much. So that was really great. And it did rain a little bit that night, but we really got lucky because like that was the only night that it kind of rained, and it only rained for probably like 2 or 3 hours at the most. Good morning. It is November 8th, and today is our last day in New York already. I swear this trip has gone by so freaking fast. We're gonna be going to Radio City Music Hall, and we're gonna be seeing a Christmas show for the Rockettes, which is really exciting because I've never seen a Christmas show like that before. Then today we're also doing Top of the Rock. It kind of sucks though because the Radio City isn't allowing any cameras in, and we're about like 20 minutes of a walk to the Rockefeller Center, so I think I'm gonna have to leave my camera behind. So that is very unfortunate, but I'm gonna try to take as many like photos and videos as I can on my phone. This day is tied as my favorite day there with the Brooklyn day on Tuesday, because Friday we did all of the things. Friday morning started off really great because we went to the Rockefeller Center because we were going to be doing Top of the Rock observation deck that day. So we ended up getting the Sun and Stars pass, which meant that we could go up during the day and see it, and then go back at night and see it. Ended up going up for the daytime around like noon, I want to say. I wasn't able to bring my camera for the morning part of it, but I did record a little bit of footage on my phone that's like, again, not the best quality, but the Top of the Rock was like the most incredible experience. Like during the day, like it was just so freaking beautiful, and like you could just see for miles. We just got back from seeing the Rockettes at Radio City, and it was freaking amazing. This lighting is terrible and I look dead, I'm sorry. It's really cold out today. It's been 38 degrees all day, and it's really cold walking through the streets. Like literally right after we got down from the Top of the Rock around like 1 o'clock, then they were starting lining up outside of Radio City, and we got to go and see the Radio City Rockettes for their Christmas spectacular show, and it was so much freaking fun. Like I've never been to a Christmas show before, and it was just such a cool experience, and the Rockettes were so freaking cool. Like they were so good. And like they gave us all free Santa hats, and like it just really put me into Christmas spirit. Like I usually don't get into Christmas until like after Thanksgiving, but like it was so much fun. Like it was probably one of my favorite things of the trip as well. I know I keep saying that about everything, but like it was great. Like the girls were so awesome, and like the show was just so freaking cool. Like it was so colorful, and it was just such like New York pride in the show, you know, like the way they just kept talking about New York and Christmas. Like it was magical. And so then right after we got out of the Radio City show, it was about like 3:30 in the afternoon, so we ended up going back to the hotel so I could grab my camera, and we ended up going out to Shake Shack. We've never been to a Shake Shack before, so that was like really fun because it was like a East Coast thing to do, you know, because like we don't have any Shake Shacks on the West Coast. But Shake Shack was good. It was kind of more like fast food than I was expecting for some reason, because like when people talked about Shake Shack, I don't know, it's just like I had assumed it was more like of a restaurant, but it's very like fast food, which was fine. And then by that time the sun had gone down, so we ended up going back to Top of the Rock for the night viewing, and oh my gosh, this was the coldest night in New York. Like when we were walking over to the Top of the Rock, it was like 35 degrees outside, and this was the first day that it really like dropped in temperature. Like it got really freaking cold like really fast, and when we were looking on our weather app on our phone, it was saying it feels like 28 degrees outside, not 35, because it was so freaking cold and so windy, and like we had to walk the whole way there. Oh my god, it was freezing. It was freaking freezing. I had my beanie on, I had my gloves on, and it was freaking cold. And then we got to the Top of the Rock, and the night view was the most goddamn beautiful thing I've ever seen with my eyeballs. Like I still can't get over it. I still can't really believe what I was seeing. Like it honestly felt like I was staring into a movie or something. Like it just didn't feel real. And like the night view is freaking like there's just honestly no words for me to describe like the effect that it had on me to like see the city glowing like that, like from that view of like 67 floors up. Like, and we just had the perfect view of the Empire State Building, and it was just oh, it was freaking remarkable. Like, it was so beautiful. And it was definitely like my most memorable moment about staying in New York. And I'm really glad that we saved this for the last night, actually, because it just made it even more like iconic and unforgettable for me, you know? She's hugging New York. It's
a big hug.
Oh my god.
Big city too.
Big hug. I don't want to leave. I love you, New York. Right after we finished the top of the rock, we actually went out to this place in Times Square called Uptown Swirl that we really wanted to go to because it's a frozen yogurt slash crepes place. And so we ended up getting crepes because we were so freaking cold, and the crepes were so good. They were so good. Like, I love crepes. Like, strawberry Nutella crepes are my #1 favorite thing ever. And they did not disappoint. Like, they were freaking amazing, and they were so warm. Like, when we were so cold out there, it just like warmed my entire soul. And then that was pretty much it. Like, we had kind of an early night on Friday because the next morning we were gonna have to wake up to leave for the airport at like 5:30 in the morning. So we ended up trying to go to bed somewhat early. Like, we were back in the hotel by around like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and then we were watching Friends on the TV for a while because I was like, we're in New York, I just want to watch Friends. Good morning. It's about 5:45 in the morning right now, and we're leaving New York. And I got about 3 hours or so of sleep last night, so feeling great. Because our hotel last night, because, you know, last night was a Friday night, and we had to try to go to bed at like, you know, 12-ish, and literally the hotel was like because there's like a club on the roof, and we're on the 9th floor, which is somewhat close to the roof, I guess, and we could hear it all night. So, and then we had a full day of traveling on the way back, which was just, it was pretty brutal because we woke up at 5:30, we left the hotel by like 6:15, and then we got to the airport around like 7:15, and then our flight didn't leave until like 9:20, and then by the time we landed in Seattle, it was like 1 o'clock, but it was actually felt to us like it was closer to 4 o'clock, you know, because of the time change. And it was brutal. And then from Seattle, it was a 2-hour drive home on top of that, so then we didn't end up getting home until close to like just a little bit after 3 o'clock in the afternoon today. Yeah, it was a really long day of traveling, and I kind of still feel like I'm like moving. Like, you know, when you have like when you've been traveling like literally all day and you've been like in a car and on a plane and you're kind of like always moving, like I kind of feel like I'm like still moving, and I'm like ugh. But yeah, that was the New York trip, and honestly, like, I love New York just as much as I did before this trip, and I will continue to love New York. Brooklyn area and Dumbo area and like the more quieter parts of Manhattan, like 6th Avenue is my favorite street and area in the whole freaking Manhattan. But like, yeah, Times Square is kind of like a pain in the ass, and it's kind of like overwhelming, and everybody's just like boom, boom, boom in your face. And I mean, it's fine, but like, it's just, it's not my favorite area, you know? New York is just freaking incredible. Like, I just honestly wish I could live there so much. Like, I don't think I ever actually could, because I think New York gives me too much anxiety for me to actually like live there. But oh my god, it's just my favorite like city. It's just, it's so beautiful. And that was the whole trip, and it was really fun, and I can't wait to go back as soon as humanly possible. Like, I just love New York. Yeah, but let me know your thoughts on this vlog, I guess. I don't know how to end these things. I don't usually talk like this for vlogs. Let me know, I guess, what you think of this style of vlogging, like kind of talking about my experiences after the fact and then doing that kind of thing. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye.